On behalf of the class of 2014, I would like to welcome all of you, members of the school board, administration, faculty and staff, parents, friends, and fellow graduates, to the close of another chapter in our lives. This chapter is quite long for some, nearly 11 years in my case, and shorter for others, but it's a memorable chapter all the same. I'm surrounded currently by a sea of familiar faces, many of which I have known since first grade, and am astounded at how much we have changed. We have come so far to get here today, but we still have a long way to go. In the words of Anne Frank, how wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world. Before I continue, I would like to say thank you to the many amazing teachers that I have had the opportunity to learn from these past 4 years. You have been an integral part of my education and have shaped my mind in ways that I can only begin to imagine. Thank you to all of the friends who have filled my high school experience with companionship, support, love, and most importantly, laughter. You know who you are. I have to say, it's a lot easier to make yourself stay awake all night, night after night, studying for exams when you know your best friends are right there with you, all pushing each other to the finish line. Finally, thank you to my parents for never accepting anything less than my best and for continually pushing me to stretch the definition of what my best is. You have made me question myself in the most beneficial ways, and my gratitude for all that you have done for me and continue to do for me every day is endless. On the subject of parents, I know mine and many others often refer to our generation as the oversharing generation, and to be honest, I see quite a bit of truth in that. We have earned the not-so-endearing nickname due to our propensity to willingly share our most personal information on places where virtually anybody can see it. We revel in reporting who we're with, what we're doing, and how we're feeling at any and all times of the day. When showing the world our interests and passions is as simple as clicking a button, we run the risk of losing the ability to formulate our own thoughts about the world around us. We become followers, we lose our voice, and we lose our creativity. While our status as the oversharing generation is deemed negative by those who gave it to us, I believe we can change its meaning to an overwhelmingly positive one. We can change its connotation by changing ourselves. Not by making changes to ourselves as people on an intrinsic level, but by increasing our self-awareness and realizing how our everyday actions affect the world around us. By being the conscientious individuals that I know we all are, and by looking outside of our tunnel-visioned worlds, and we can get a glimpse of the bigger picture. Despite living in one of the most affluent and developed nations in the world, we still face many great challenges here at home. We live in a country where 14% of the adults remain illiterate, where nearly 16% of our citizens are living without health care, where nearly 15% of our citizens live below the poverty line, and where nearly 1/3 of women have been victims of domestic violence and abuse. These are but a few of the many problems we must face in our lifetimes, but I believe that our generation's willingness to overshare could become an advantage in our ability to change these statistics and make sure that we don't become the generation that remains stagnant. Guided by the right mindset and a determination to increase our interconnectedness with the world on a global scale, every one of the graduates sitting here today is undoubtedly capable of making an impact. So let's open our eyes and minds to ignorance and overshare our knowledge. Open our eyes to antipathy and overshare our compassion. Open our eyes to suffering and overshare our solace. Open our eyes to problems and overshare our creativity in forming solutions. Open our eyes to the world and overshare ourselves in the most positive ways possible. We all have a means to make an impact in the world, and as Alice Walker said, the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. I hope all of you sitting behind me know that you have that power. Thank you.
As we prepared for this graduation ceremony, the senior class thought long and hard about what sort of gift we could leave behind that would be meaningful, valuable, and not too expensive. As we brainstormed the perfect gift, a parable came to mind. There was once a man who built his house on sand, and a man who built his house on stone. The wind and rain came, and the man's house, which was built on sand, was destroyed, but the man's house, which was built on stone, survived. The man building his house on stone symbolizes building your life on love, compassion, morals, and values. The man building his house on sand symbolizes building your life on material things that can easily pass away.
The class of 2014 wanted to give a gift to remind future generations of this principle. A giant stone will sit at our new campus covered with handprints from the senior class as a reminder to build our lives on faith, kindness, generosity, and loving others. This rock will be painted with school announcements for years to come. As we leave behind this gift, don't forget the message it shares with future classes. Seniors, let us not forget the love and acceptance we received at CAHS and extend it to others as we cross paths in the future. Thank you. We did it.
There's the rock. While he's coming down, we've already heard from our salutatorian, Kelly Chambers, and now we're going to hear from our valedictorian, Jared. Come on down, Jared.
A few months ago, I got a little piece of paper that had an impact on my life disproportionate to its diminutive size. This little piece of paper was awarded to me for exceeding certain expectations and achieving impressive new heights. A recognition of my astounding accomplishment with a rather substantial set of dollar signs attached to it. I'm sure you can imagine how I felt when this piece of paper was given to me, on the side of the freeway about 100 yards in front of the exit for Valley Parkway. Yes, this piece of paper was a speeding ticket. Needless to say, this is not one of my most cherished memories of the past 4 years, but it did teach me an important lesson. Watch out for cops when speeding in the carpool lane on the 15 North. I suppose most valedictorians' minds don't jump to their speeding tickets when writing their speech, but mine did. You see, I got to this point, standing here at this podium, in much the same way as I got that speeding ticket. I got pulled over because I was paying more attention to getting to my destination and listening to Justin Timberlake singing on the radio than I was to the road itself and the speed at which I was traveling. Likewise, I'm standing here today giving this speech because I've spent the last 4 years focusing too much on this goal, graduation, and not enough on the other important things in life. The reason I am the one standing here at this podium today is not because I'm better than the 100 or so incredibly attractive students sitting in rows behind me. It's quite the opposite, in fact. I'm standing here today because I'm the best at doing exactly what I needed to do to get the first letter of the alphabet printed over and over and over and over again on my report card. In other words, I'm the best at something that now is pretty much completely useless to me. So really, I'm giving this speech because of all the people in bright red robes and silly-looking hats. I am the least remarkable. That being said, class of 2014, please let me be the first person ever to congratulate you on not being the valedictorian. Because the fact that you aren't standing up here terrified out of your mind to be talking in front of so many people you've never met before means that during those hours where I was doing every scrap of homework assigned to me and getting completely unnecessary extra credit, you all were doing things that will be more meaningful to you in years to come. You were honing your skills, playing a musical instrument or singing. You were working hard to excel at football or soccer or some other sport. You were smiling and laughing as you cultivated relationships with friends and family. You were smart and realized that there's more to life than high school grades. And then on top of that, you still managed to get incredible grades, so I really don't know why I'm the one they chose to give a speech. Now, I don't want to belittle the importance of a good education. Far from it. I've benefited so much from attending CAHS, and I'm confident I wouldn't have received an education of equal merit at some other school. But I do want to stress the importance of not letting grades, those little black marks that are nothing more than a watered-down representation of what we actually learned, become the sole focus of your life, as I did on so many occasions. Because after all, that's not really what high school is all about. I understand the temptation that I'm sure most of you share to remember high school as the absolute hell it often seemed to be these past 4 years, so that we can now rejoice at our triumphs over it. There were days when walking to class made me feel like Frodo struggling to crawl up Mount Doom. Actually, pretty much every day. And then I would get home to find, to my absolute delight, that school would have followed me in the form of all the packets that Taylor and our other teachers had assigned us for homework on that night. All of this for those little letters, or in the case of AP exams, numbers, that haunted our dreams the nights before tests. So yes, even though in the grand scheme of things, high school isn't that big of a deal, we did work hard, really hard, and we deserve to be exactly where we are right now. Anyone who took APUSH or Calculus or English 10 knows that these past 4 years have not been a walk in the park. Unless that park was in fact in Mordor, in which case it was exactly like a walk in the park. We've suffered through all the stress, the difficulty, the emotional turmoil, the endless hours of hope-crushing, mind-splitting agony that our teachers subjected us to, and now, at long last, we are done. That is until this fall when we go to college and start all over again, but let's not think about that right now. Yes, a few years into the future, we will all realize that comparing high school to Mordor is akin to comparing a paper cut to a severed limb. Yes, a few years from now, we will know that the difficulties that seemed so awful in high school were really nothing compared to what comes after. Yes, we'll know we made a big deal out of nothing. Yes, we'll realize that no one actually cares about high school after high school. And yes, we will be so much wiser. But guess what? It's not a few years into the future yet. It's a little after 6 o'clock on June 12th, 2014, the day we graduate. Tonight isn't just about which letters of the alphabet appeared on our transcripts or the number of times we crammed for a test. This ceremony isn't for commemorating how wildly difficult AP exams and finals were. This evening, we're on this stage in front of all of our friends and family to celebrate the 4 long years of life lessons, friendships, athletic events, school musicals, Mr. CAHS contests, and all those other silly, awesome things we've done. Like those letters on our transcripts, tonight is just a representation of the journey through Mordor that we've all made, and all the more important things we've learned, created, and laughed about along the way. Thus, even though all of this is no big deal, I don't feel at all wrong in congratulating each and every one of you on surviving 4 long years of high school. Congratulations, you've earned this. But of course, it wouldn't be fair of me not to mention all the people who played a role in getting us here today. On behalf of the class of 2014, I would like to thank you, Mr. Curry and Mr. Moen, and the rest of the administration at CAHS. We greatly appreciate all you do, and I am truly sorry about calling your school Mordor. Believe me, I meant it in the most affectionate way possible. I also want to thank all the fantastic teachers at Classical Academy. I don't know how, but this tiny school attracts some of the best teachers around. Sadly, I can't go through and thank each one individually, but there were a few who I wanted to specifically embarrass. I want to thank Mr. Montgomery for teaching me the importance of Scotch tape and trains, and for letting me borrow his precious owl statue as I impersonated him in front of half the school. I want to thank Ms. Taylor for somehow putting up with Roy, Kelly, and me for an entire year. We honestly don't know how you did it. We're incredibly annoying, and you let us sit next to each other all year. Kudos to you. And I want to thank Mr. Benatia. I want to thank you for helping me become a better student and a better athlete. But more importantly, I want to thank you for getting a red card this soccer season so that all my yellows didn't look so bad next to you. And of course, on behalf of all the people behind me, I want to thank the parents, and specifically, I want to thank you, Mom and Dad, for making me get up early every morning so I could drive 45 minutes just to get to school. I know I can't say it without sounding sarcastic, but I'm actually glad you made me travel 33.2 miles twice a day, every day for 4 years. But really, if there was ever a time when you believed me when I said I wasn't being the least bit sarcastic, let this be it, as I say, with absolute sincerity, thank you. But most importantly of all, I want to thank you, the class of 2014, for suffering alongside me through every dull book and impossible math problem that high school threw at us. And I want to congratulate each and every one of you on making it to the top of Mount Doom, for the most part unscathed. And for the years to come, no matter how far apart our paths take us, I wish you all the best of luck, though I know you won't need it. Thank you.
That's very good. This one's perfect. That happens to be my favorite line from my favorite film, and evidently it's pretty applicable to our ceremony here today. I speak on behalf of those who are ending a much longer story. If our time at the classical academies was in the form of novels, we would be the characters you met in the first book. We are what you call lifers. We were there on the first day of kindergarten where our story began, and we are here sitting before you as it ends. We made lifelong friendships in elementary school on the campus across the street close to 13 years ago. From there on, we drudged through the awkward, uncomfortable, angsty middle school chapters that most people would like to forget. And then we made it here to North County's most interesting high school. It started filling out the last pages of our story. We started at the very beginning and by no short miracle have made it here. The word miracle applies to some of us more than others. We were lucky enough to have the opportunity to write our story here. And if this story was a book that you could go buy at Barnes & Noble, you would go find it, pick it off the shelf, find a nice leather chair if they still had them, open it up, and read to find that there was very rarely a dull moment, especially here at CAHS. Lifers remember when there was no such thing as a coastal academy, and we are probably the last class that does. We remember that in between 4th and 5th grade, we got to move to a campus with an actual playground, an asset that had been coveted for quite some time by the students. It was at this very same Bear Valley campus that our own principal used to teach a watered-down version of ASB, known as leadership. We remember how scary high school was through freshman eyes and how gigantic seniors looked. And I personally think that they set unfair standards, but that's just me. To this day, I apologize. We remember when there were teachers named McGrawby, Minto, and Klein. To this day, I'm still unable to call them by their legal names. However, these are just details that fill in the pages of our story. Personally, as a lifer, I remember a very consistent trait that the classical academies have demonstrated throughout this story, and that is great levels of understanding and compassion for their students. Throughout my time here, I've had countless complications that caused me to take alternative educational plans. At any other school, they would have lost hope and cast me by the wayside. But here they understood the dire nature of every complication, and they worked with me to make sure I received the best education and experience they could give. This is an act I've seen the classical academies do countless times with multiple people, no matter the circumstance. By being here from the beginning, I've been able to read the whole story. I've got to admit, it's a good one. However, this would not have been possible without all the characters whose roles didn't start at the beginning. What helps make our story great is all the characters who came in after it had began. Just because they weren't there at the start doesn't mean their roles were any less important. The class of 2014 as a whole made this story captivating, dramatic, comedic, and at certain points even inspiring. And I'd like to think that those points were the best. While our story didn't involve magic, revolutions, national death matches, or ice cream machines, it had character. And even though it didn't take place in the largest of settings, we all matured immensely as students and as people. Right now, I would like to address those of you who are still going to the classical academies and are not graduating with us here today. Are you any less important because you aren't on this stage or because you haven't gone to this school for 13 years? Not at all. You have to keep all this going. The story doesn't merely end with us. So for the rest of you who will be here for the next 1, 2, or 3 years, I have one piece of advice. It's simple. Fill the pages. Thank you.
So let's go back in time. Let's show you a little slideshow. Who has been here for 12 years? Actually 13, isn't it? 13 if you get with kindergarten. Our survivors. Michaela Anaya. Grant Hassinger. Caitlin Queasley. Tristan Mead. Kaylee Molina. Mary O'Donnell. Juliana Robinson. Trevor Salazar. Devin Stanley. Emma Tarr. These are our survivors, and so we're going to give them a little trophy right now. This goes to Trevor. Now, the impressive thing about this group is the fact that they don't stand here alone. And I have the opportunity to travel and to speak and to tell people about what's happening here at the Classical Academies. And often people will say to me, "Oh, you work with homeschool families. Oh. And you know what? My biggest concern is their socialization. I'm so concerned. And having walked this road myself with my dear wife, Barbara, for so many years as well, we happen to know that our kids are incredibly socialized. We spend so much time, you spend so much time taking them here, making sure that they're there, making sure they're plugged into this, making sure that they're plugged into this. So you all know the only people who aren't socialized in this relationship are the parents. So I would ask that their parents at this point stand for us, please. So on behalf of the Classical Academies, we're sending you out to dinner. So enjoy a date night on us, and congratulations for surviving 13 years with these wonderful kids. Good stuff.
So every year the seniors like to do a little prank on the school, and every year I try to get them not to do it. So I don't know if there's any seniors here from last year, but they left us about 1,500 cups filled with goldfish in the quad. It took us a long time to clean up. So this year I warned them again, no senior pranks. They all said, yeah, we won't do anything. But then a couple came, I think, to the security, and they said, hey, can we just camp out overnight in the quad area? And the security came to me, hey, Mr. Moen, do you think they can camp out? And I'm like, well, they can't camp out, but if they want to come at 5 a.m. and just kind of set up a little camp to greet people as they come, that's fine. Well, somehow, still figuring out how they got on campus at night, they did a couple things to the school. There was something about Kim Kardashian all over the place. But the next day, this was last week, at a certain time, I believe it was 11 o'clock, in all of our classrooms, alarms started going off everywhere. And they said that their time was up. So I found out who the leader of the pack was, and I told him that I would embarrass him. So if Stephen Conine could come on down. So I'm telling Stephen his time is up. So I'd like to let you know that this class has met or surpassed all the requirements set forth by the state of California as well as the additional requirements set forth by Classical Academy High School, and now it's time to give them their diploma.
Shayna Joanne Aceves. Michaela Eve Anaya. Brenna Arant. Wesley Arant. Brent Joshua Arwine. Nathan Dean Asselford. Marissa Rose Banky. Jonathan David Bennett. Roy Christian Bennett. Caitlin Jensine Bow. Abana Afriya Bonsu. Alyssa Christine Burlingame. Reed Justice Warner Bird. Noah Lee Campbell. Celeste Marie Carrillo Salado. Bala Kala Carter. Thomas Joseph Cassidy. Kelly Mackenzie Chambers. Paul Sebastian Conant Guy. Esteban Guy Conine. Tyler Heath Kuhn. Caitlin Ann Coviello. Jennifer DeLeggi. Lorelei Janelle Delgado. Anthony Michael DeMarco. Blaze Arlen De Velasco. Jonathan Matthew DeWitt. Natalie Jill Dominguez. Michaela Lynn Douglas. Ashley Wen Du. Madeline Rose Dukes. Emily Jean Elge.
Travis Donald Elmer. Andres Felipe Ewald Nieto. Eden Rose Farmer. Daniel James Farwell. Brandon Austin Felt. Nicole Brianna Fitzgerald. Rachel Lene Forget. Eileen Garcia. Lauren Marie Garcia. Stephen Garcia. Morgan Elizabeth Gast. Kamea Noel Giese. Claire Michelle Giesing. Wyatt Grant Gorgas. Andre John Hanna. Lindsay Elizabeth Harris. Grant Randall Hassinger. Natalie Marie Hodge. Anna Lauren Huffman. Emily Giles. Brittany Lauren Johnson. Courtney Marie Johnson. Zachary David Jones. Bryson Michael Keith. Brianna Kelly Kirkland. Rachel Lynn Claudel. Caitlin Michaela Queasley. Jacob Ewing Larson.
Victoria Eliano Lebrun. Abigail Christina Litz. Sergey Ivanovich McGuire. Tanner Alexa Mandak. Corey Allison Manning. Melissa May Marsh. Rachel Brianna McQueen. Eric Tristan Mead. Sarah Marie Mendoza, aka MFS. Naomi Rose Mers. Samantha Ann Meyer. Alexander Jacob Miller. Kaylee Claudette Molina. Gianna Raquel Navarro. Anna Marie Nielsen. Olivia Lynn Nautash. Marie Elizabeth O'Donnell. Sarah Ann Oscom. Michaela Marie Polene. Destiny Alexis Pedroza. Olivia Milo Pence. Emma Grace Peterson. Austin Robert Plehall. Serenity Ann Port. Kelsey Cheyenne Jesse Rio. Anise Marie Richter. Juliana Manami Robinson. Devin Michael Anderson Rojas.
Trevor Anthony Salazar. Hannah Elizabeth Sanders. Carson Sidney Sargent. Vivian Corlin Ray Landy Schmaltz. Erica Lynn Schulteis. Miriam Rose Segara. Nathaniel Lewis Segara. Katie Marie Sherman. Tessa Marie Seeger. Daniel Stone Siemens. Taylor May Skoversky. Barrick Scott Smith. Devin Ray Stanley. Rachel Mary Sutherland. Emma Rose Tarr. Jared Evan Taylor. Anthony Michael Tellis. Aaron Michael Vaughn. Perry Flynn Veter. Gabriel Joseph Vigil. India Marilyn Verbeff. Sierra Christine Westby. Isaiah Demon Wilson. Elise Caroline Woodward. Madison Jane Wright Hatton. Alexandra Zahedi Atamian.
Graduates, can you all stand? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you the class of 2014. If you could all rise. If you could all rise for the alma mater. If you could all rise, we're going to sing the alma mater, please.